Hey guys, so today I want to talk to you about vocations. Now, what is a vocation? A vocation is a call to a certain state of life. And in the church, we recognize that there's 3 different states of life. Alright, make sure you guys are paying attention if you want some chocolates, alright? So, 3 states of life. You have the married life, the consecrated life, and the priesthood or the diaconate. I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about the one that I'm most familiar with. That's right, you guessed it, marriage. So right here I have a picture. This is me and my wife on our wedding day. And this is my best man, Matt. And this is Brittany's maid of honor, Haley. Right? Our wedding day was awesome. It was an opportunity for our family and our friends to come together and to celebrate one of the most important parts of our life. And our marriage was just the beginning, right? It was the beginning of the next step. It was the vocation that we felt that we were called to. And it started a lot of different ways, right? I'll share with you guys a little bit about how my wife and I met, right? So we both went to the same college together. And our college had this thing that they did every year, and they would ask all of the freshmen to come back early. So we would get the run of the campus for 2 days before everybody else came to school. And during those 2 days, they'd have all these different events for freshmen to help meet each other, like all these socials and games and fun activities and stuff planned. And one of the things that they had was blow-up laser tag. Yes, it was awesome. I know what you're thinking. And I was with my roommate and she was with her roommate, and we kind of just happened to show up at this laser tag thing. We had a lot of fun and we were talking afterwards, and we had an opportunity to exchange numbers, and we said we were going to meet up later. There was a comedian that night that we were going to meet, and then that was it. Nothing happened. We didn't start dating. That was just the first time that we had met. And we were kind of friends, more like acquaintances. We saw each other here and there around campus, and we had similar friends. I was actually her boss at one point. We were both involved with our faith and went to church and different groups and stuff. And we both did well, very academically. But I was on one path and she was on another path. And it wasn't until our senior year of college, so this is, mind you, like 3.5 years later, that one of our mutual friends was having a 21st birthday party, and we were both invited to that party. And while we were at the party, we both kind of hit it off. We were just talking, and we found out that we had a lot of interests. We also found out that a lot of our friends were interested in not so much the same things that we were interested in. And so we decided that we would meet up again the next day, and I would fix her breakfast, and then 2 years later, we ended up getting married. Now, here's the thing. When my wife and I were getting to know each other during that dating part of our vocation, I shared with her a number of stories about who I was and the things that I did after I had met her the first time that freshman year. And the person that I was and the things that I did were not always necessarily the best things, right? I wasn't the best person. I made a lot of stupid decisions that got me in some trouble. And my wife and I, after having this conversation, in the spirit of honesty, we were kind of sharing with each other kind of what we had been through, said that I'm really glad that I didn't date you then. Because if I had dated you then, you wouldn't be the man that I wanted to marry. And that was a real big shock to me. Like, I had never thought about that before. I had never thought about how God's plan for my life had involved my wife. Right? Now, she had been much more involved in her faith, and she had shared with me that she'd been praying for her future husband. She'd even written me, not knowing me was me, right? Letters and notes and all of these things, and she actually shared with me a journal that she had written on all of these things about what she wanted as a future husband. And when we had met early on in college, I was none of the things that she was interested in looking for. She was looking for a man who prayed, who had a relationship with God, who went to church, who was involved in their faith, who spoke kind words, who didn't use profanity and foul language, who treated women with respect, who sacrificed and gave of his time and his energy and his love for the things that she would have liked. And guys, I was none of those things. So the Lord has a plan for our lives. And Saint Teresa of Calcutta always said that there was always what she called a vocation within a vocation, right? So I'm called to the vocation of marriage, and I'm living out that vocation now. Others, right, like yourselves, might also be called to that vocation of marriage. You might also be called to the consecrated life, or maybe, which would be awesome, some of you, to be nuns or even priests, to serve your life, to serve the church as a way of giving over your life in that way, which would be awesome. And so it just didn't really dawn on me that that was something that I should have been thinking about. But this vocation within a vocation is something that I always keep near and dear to my heart, because even though I'm married and I found my vocation, it doesn't stop now, right? I have a vocation within a vocation. So my vocation is to the married life. That's my state of life. But within that, I'm called to be a good husband. I'm called to be a good father. I'm called to be a good role model. I'm called to have this state of life be everywhere and all-encompassing in everything that I do. You guys also have a vocation that you're working towards, one of those three things, but you also have a vocation within a vocation, and right now your state of life is to be a student, to be a sibling, to be a daughter and a son. And the question that I have for you guys is, how are you living out that vocation to the best of your ability now? As a student, are you being the best student you can be? Are you paying attention in class? Are you doing your homework? Are you asking good questions? Or are you goofing off, hanging out with your friends, getting in trouble, doing the things that you're not supposed to do? Are you being good sons and daughters, right? I challenged you guys a couple of weeks ago to be more helpful with your parents, right? Have you done that, right? Are you fulfilling your vocation as a son or a daughter to your parents? Are you fulfilling your vocation to be a sibling? Are you helpful to your older or younger siblings, right? I know that sometimes younger siblings can annoy us, right? I have a younger sibling and she annoyed me a lot. And she also got me into a lot of trouble because she was a tattletale. But I love her, right? Are you being a good sibling, okay? How are you participating in your vocation now? That's my challenge for you guys this week. You're going to have an awesome discussion today more about what vocations are and how you're called to them and what you can start to do now as a middle schooler to start preparing for those vocations. So my challenge for you guys is to start thinking about it now. Start praying for your vocation now, whether you're going to be called to the married life, to the consecrated life, to be a priest or a deacon. Start praying now. All right, guys, I miss you. I'm going to see you soon. Have a happy Halloween. Have some fun. Eat lots of candy for me. And we'll see you guys, in November. All right. Peace. Love you guys. Bye.